Hello, everyone.
Calcamilli, hello. Thank you for the heart. Holly, thank you for being here, Harley. Holly. Jen, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Shell, Nelson Fleck, thank you for being here. Hey, Katie girl, nice that you guys are joining us. Babe, can you see if we're on
Sure.
YouTube? I hope everybody is having an amazing week so far. Oh, that was yours?
Yes.
Oh,
Mine's on the top,
yeah.
too.
Right. I'm surprised that mine didn't come on. Sorry. We're just trying to get set up here so that we can have the best live ever.
Yep.
Welcome. Oh,
Looks like we are.
we are all right. I'm always so close to having it good. And I spent a long
Thank
time
you,
today getting the
Mary.
equipment ready so it wouldn't be so crazy.
We do have AC again.
Yes.
Thank you for asking, but I was prepared.
Am I less balmy? Is that how you can tell? I'm just a little less shiny.
Oh, hi,
Welcome.
I'm just in
Hey, from
Oregon,
Farmer. Hello. Thank you for being here.
watching a beautiful
Jay, thank
sunset,
you.
drinking a
Where?
non-word of wisdom drink
Where?
in
In
Oregon.
Oregon. We
Hi,
have to go to Oregon.
Camille.
Yes, we have to go. Thank you for being here. Mary, thank you. Gosh, it's Wednesday already. Where did this week go?
Oh,
Where
my
did the week
goodness.
go? What did y'all do this week? But I was so
What are
busy.
you
You know, this
drinking?
is just ice water. Just ice water today. We're so I'm totally dressed, obviously. Um, so tonight after the live, then we're gonna leave and we're gonna go to Vegas for tonight. And so I wanted.
Hi,
Oh,
Miss
thank you,
Kim.
Missy, for the roses. So I
Hi,
was totally ready.
Bianca.
So no
Hi.
makeup as we're getting going because I wanted to be able to talk for a few minutes. And then about halfway through, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all of the makeup off and transition back into Kevin, and then we can talk for a few minutes that way and see what that's like, if that's any different and whatnot, and you can see what's under this war paint. So that's the plan tonight is to break off about halfway through and
Hi,
detransition back to
everyone.
Kevin. Hey,
Hi,
what's up, Mackenzie?
Amanda. And
Thank you, Amanda.
Baby
Thank you for being
Savage.
here.
You're in Utah, too.
Yes. Oh, she's in Utah. All
Hi
right.
from
Gender
Boston.
dysphoria is more common now. Good luck with it. Hey, no, stick around. Let's talk about that because you're
Hi,
absolutely right, and it's
Mackenzie.
such a valid point. I
How are
appreciate you
you?
bringing it up, and that's why it's so important that we have these
Hi,
conversations
Jessica.
now because it's not going away. It's increasing. So that's the purpose of us getting together and just talking about what this looks like and what this feels like
Salt
and what it
Lake.
means to you,
Baby
so that
Savage.
we can all work through this still together. Because you're absolutely right. It's more and more prevalent. 100%. Thank you for being here.
Thank you,
Oh,
Patty. Oh,
thank you.
thanks.
Isn't that great? Her
Thanks,
dress is so cute, huh? I'm
Kate
glad she wore
Gerard
that.
33.
My boss dad is a dentist in St. George, Utah. Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's
cool.
great. That's great. Welcome.
Davis County
Davis
originally.
County. Okay.
Wow.
Hey, just so you know, I graduated from Layton High. I'm just saying. So I know Davis County.
Yep.
So good. But that was nice. That was nice of that guy to point out. That transgender is becoming more and more and more prevalent, and a lot of people are coming out. A lot of you on that are with us right now are considering coming out. So you've been transgender your whole life, but you've never probably said it out loud once or been able to act on that. So there's no doubt that
Oh,
we need to
thank
figure
you,
out the right
Amanda.
way to deal with this for everybody. And I want to talk about that tonight. I want to go over a little transgender 101 and talk
Somebody
about
graduated
what
from
that.
Layton too.
All right. Hey, I
Millie's
hope you're
husband.
all right. I hope he's in my class. I hope I know you.
Lancer
You would.
too. Haha.
All right. You would be the first
Wow.
Lancers. If I knew you in school, you'd be the first one that I know knows of this live. So
Yep.
if I went to school with you, let me know. Um,
Hope to maybe
Thank
run
you.
into you one day. Oh, thank
Yeah, thank
you.
you.
North
I do have a deep
Carolina.
voice because I experienced a male
What's
puberty.
up
So
from Denver?
my voice is actually quite a bit lower than it is now. Right now I'm speaking from my upper diaphragm, where if I was in front of a room giving a training or speaking to a large
Oh,
group, I would be
brighter.
speaking from my lower diaphragm because that's where the power comes from, and it gets really low down in here. But when you're speaking from your upper diaphragm, it's a little easier to maintain a higher pitch for a longer period of time. Now, if I went high, left my diaphragm and just started talking from my lungs, then I wouldn't be able to keep
Hi,
that pitch very long,
Melissa
and it would
Jan.
wear you out. It would wear me out. I would be like a cartoon. So
Mm, thank you,
yes,
everyone. Just here to spread love from
that
Michigan.
hey, that would be crazy though. If some people from high school were like, hey, what's
That would
up?
be so cool.
Hmm.
Hi from Nebraska.
Nebraska, terrible. What's terrible? Stick around because this would be a great place to start a conversation. So if you help me understand what's terrible, then I can help explain that part that you don't understand yet. So,
T Soupy said I
oh,
look up
thank
to you and
you,
highly
T Soupy,
suggest
thank you so
everyone.
much. But guys, please don't just give criticism and weird comments. Stick around and ask tough questions, and let's talk about hard issues because these issues are coming to your home. It may not be today, but they're
Mm.
coming to your home at some point. I promise you. So stick around. Thank you.
I'm a trans youth and you are such an inspiration.
All right, thank you for being here, and congratulations on your strengths. You're like an X-Man, and you got all of these abilities and all of these awarenesses that people don't even know that you have, and I'm happy for you. Thank you for being here with us.
We didn't graduate together, but I was pretty close. I went to Bonneville and Roy High, so we were pretty close.
Mama House, thank you so much.
You look
Oh,
so
did I say
beautiful.
Olivia? Thank you. Oh,
Oh, someone said, Kate Gerard said, I loved your hair care video with Olaplex. Your wig is beautiful.
thank you. You know,
Yay.
there was one comment where someone said, "Wow, your wig looked 10 times better before you did it," and I thought about that, and I went back and watched it, and sure enough, the wig looks amazing. So thank you for noticing that. I do keep my wigs in very good shape, and the truth is, it probably didn't need to be washed right
Thanks,
then. But I
Mackenzie.
had all these products, and I have this amazing wig, and why would I wait to put incredible products on an incredible wig? So. Yeah, it probably didn't need to be washed and styled because it was already very healthy, but that's why I did it. Thank you for noticing how healthy it was.
Okay, I'm not getting all of the comments because I just saw one on yours, but Melissa Deanne said she gave her 100th counseling session today.
Wow. Wow.
Holy cow.
Girl,
I
you are
hope you
the
know how much
best.
of an inspiration you both are. No, you pretty
Oh,
much.
yeah, you
Holy
did
cow,
it.
you did
Gosh,
amazing.
thank you for doing that. That's so many people. And most of the people that you're talking to, I'm guessing are not trans. I'm guessing there are other people that have significant situations that you're helping them work through. So thank you guys. It's trans is not going to connect any of us. It's the suffering that connects us all, and that's what it's all about. Baby, I don't feel like you're in enough. I feel like you need to come this way.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm kind of still in the show a little bit, and I don't like
except
that.
don't kill
That
him.
feels.
Not
Cord, thank you.
because you're a babe, so
Oh,
just come close to me. It's okay.
I set
One less
everything up different.
flabby arm.
So I set things up different today and moved the projector over in the screen and all these things and try to get stuff square so it stayed in the screen and you could read it. I try to blow stuff up a little bigger. Um, so I'm trying.
Pinky Paula, thank you
North
for the
Carolina,
rose.
yay. I love that.
So cute.
I love that.
What is your favorite ocean? Is that a trick question or is that? I don't know.
Well, you know what? The best water probably was in the Bahamas, right? The Bahamas was probably
Yeah.
the clearest and the most
Clear.
fun, and you could see getting there with the sharks.
The shark.
But I
The
spent
shark.
more time on the Pacific coasts. More than anything. The Sea of Cortez, as it turns out, is a nursery for great white sharks. And I didn't know that when we were there. We were lobster diving. I took all
From
this gear down,
Tennessee.
and we were in Cabo, and me and my son were lobster diving every night. We'd go down and lobster dive, and we'd catch these lobsters, and we'd either cook them on the beach or we'd take them back to the condo and cook them there. And so we're in there. It's night. It's dark. We got these huge lights and whatever. And he's
Thank
like,
you,
Dad,
Cheryl.
are there sharks in here? And I'm like, no, man, there's no. That's just me and you in here. There's no sharks in here. And and then while we were there, they caught like one of the biggest great white sharks there. in the Sea of Cortez, and they said that most likely it is a nursery for great white sharks. So just note that when I lied to my son, I had no idea, or I probably would not have even got in because I'm a bad swimmer and I always smell like sausage. So I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know how I survived that, honestly.
Hold on. Ooh,
Pagan Rome or Christian Rome? I don't even
ooh.
know exactly what that means. But I consider myself Christian, even though I, not really religious per se, but I'm very spiritual.
Any thoughts on starting hormones before 18? If you don't mind giving your thoughts.
Um, no, not at all. No, I think that you should go on hormones as soon as you feel that it's right for you. Um, you're gonna block up into your early teens
Thank you.
anyway, so that gives you a little more time to work it out. But as your body's changing, your body's gonna tell you how much you need and when you need it. And I would literally leave that up to the person, just make sure that they're going through somebody with for some mental health and make sure that they're square and they're solid and they're excited and they're happy and they're vibrant and they're looking forward to this amazing life they have. And then, their body will let them know when it's time to get on those hormones. You know,
Ace is getting on hormones this summer.
Ace is getting on hormones this summer. And Ace is 15. So
14.
14. So the reality is, your people's bodies need hormones at different times. They mature, they go through puberty at different times and at different levels, right? You got the huge acne and all this stuff. So, your body's going to really tell you what it needs, and it's going to let your mind know, and your mind's going to let your temper know, and your anger and your frustration. And so there's a way that the body is going to organically tell you things are not right, things aren't stable, you could feel differently. And at that time, I would absolutely pursue it, because if it's available to feel differently, you should feel differently. I got on hormones, in my early 40s, and I missed so much of the benefits of that. You know, would I have been happier if I was on hormones sooner? Well, I used to say no, but the truth is I would. I absolutely would. I would be a different person because I would. You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I
I
would be
think.
happier?
Well, it's not. I was thinking about this today. Not this same situation, but I think it's not that you're happier. You're brighter, and
Oh,
if that makes
I
you
love that.
happier, then it makes her happier. But I do see that just it's like she's more glowy and sparkly and I don't
Oh,
know.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. I mean, I feel that way. I no doubt feel that way when I'm on hormones for sure. Man, you live in a state that both parents have to sign off to get hormones, and your dad's not willing to do that. Man, I'm sorry, guys. This is the stuff that we have to work on. We have to work on the insurance. We have to get this right. There's so much terrible things going on in the world with the sex trafficking and the human trafficking and all this corruption, all this disgustingness, and we're not paying attention to any of it because we're talking about bathrooms. This is insane. If you don't think that this is just a distraction, then you're not paying attention. What does it matter if I dress like this? If you and I pass each other in the grocery store like this, what does it mean to you? I mean, are you gonna suddenly question who you are? Because if who I am challenges who you are, the problem is not mine for sure, right? So I just can't imagine if we all just woke up
Yeah.
and said, okay, that's it. Everybody dressed to their strengths, and everyone love who they love. If that was it, what would this place look like?
Thank you,
For
Kirsten.
crying out loud. I'll tell you what it'd look like. We'd stop all this legislation and all this crazy money and all of these dumb bills that have junk and disgusting stuff stuck in there in the name of gender or sexuality or all of these things. They're just using this as a platform to distract us from important things. It doesn't make sense that the insurance company wouldn't want you to be healthy. My goodness, that doesn't make sense. So that's the stuff we have to focus on. I'm sorry that that's the situation. I hope it changes. I hope your dad changes because you have a whole life and you're going to need a dad, all of it. So I hope that comes together for you, and I hope that's one of the sweetest relationships that you ever have.
Somebody said, "Can you go on tour so I can watch you live?" Yes,
Hey,
Amanda, you'll come on
yes,
tour with us.
yes. If that pays, I will do that. You set that up, and I'll show up. Is the slideshow in the background new? You know, it's not new. I've been going back and forth between some pictures and different things. It's just answer some questions while we're talking. They get asked over and over, and I don't mind answering them over and over. But it's, a lot of the people don't want to hear the same things over and over. So I just put that back there to save you time and to save our moderators from having to type so much as well. And guys, let me thank the moderators. We have the best moderators on TikTok for sure. They keep this pool so clean and so pure. And by the way, if you are a moderator, let me make sure that you understand what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to leave the people that disagree with me. Don't kick anybody out because they disagree with me. Only kick somebody out if they're being disrespectful and gross and sending the wrong message to all the young trans people that are watching this program. So, but if people are just asking tough questions or disagreeing with me, please leave them here. I want to talk to them. They're exactly who I'm talking to. So, you know, moderators, be kind, but don't let big turds in our pool either, please. And thank you for all you do.
This is a question I before. If she could magically make you cis without the dysphoria, would she?
If
If
I could,
I could make you cis, would I? Like a cisgender.
do,
That's a
you want
hard
me do you want me to answer
question.
why you think about it? What I think, or would you rather?
You go. I think that's good.
No, if you have the answer now, that's just a
No,
tough one. I didn't.
no.
I thought that you would want to think about that because the truth is, I don't think you would, and because you know that it would make sense to, right? Because I don't have to have
Cisgender means being born with
a girl, yeah,
girl parts.
with the girl parts, and so since those boy parts are important to you,
Yeah, they're asking my wife, me, if I could do that for you.
for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, it wouldn't make sense for you to do that because I'm happy like this with parts that are enjoyable for you. So I don't know that.
It's a hard question because I see and I've seen and watched her go through what she's gone through as transgender, and if I say yes, then hopefully I am born a lesbian so I could meet her and be with her forever.
No.
Because I wouldn't want to be without them.
Oh. I love that you said without them. I love that because Kevin's important, and I've spent 50 years trying to create a Kevin that was a good piece of society. And thank you for those roses. So I'm glad you said them because Kevin has a lot of value, and I can't give up Kevin and be whole. I can't give up Allyssa and be whole. So, you know, that's where I'm at. So thank you. Babe, what a sweet answer. What an interesting and thoughtful question. Thank you.
You guys are so nice. So what that say? So
Yeah.
you are cis
Bama Blonde. Thank
male,
you for that.
but your brain says you're female.
You know, my brain just says, hey, you would really, really enjoy a feminine routine, the feminine energy, the girl world. I mean, I'm just a guy who wants to look like a girl, who sounds like a guy, who feels like a girl. So, you know, I am what I am, and I don't have the body dysphoria because I'm just comfortable. I've worked on this disgusting structure for so long that I'm comfortable with it, and I don't have to make a lot of changes. I just want to look beautiful and feel all the tenderness and joy of this world. That's where I vibrate at the best frequency for me. That's where I'm the healthiest. That's where I heal. That's where I understand gratitude and all of the things that come with this amazing life.
Oh,
Piper,
everyone's
thank
so
you.
sweet.
Jesus loves you. I believe that. Gina, thank
I'm
you.
sorry your grandma passed.
DM Loan, you soulmates, thank you.
You feel
somebody's grandmother passed?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're sad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my
Been-
father passed less than 2 weeks ago, and yeah, it's still a little tender. Hey, you know what I got to do though? Today
Hi,
hey, what's
Mama,
up? Thank you
too.
for those little Boston. Thank you for those roses. So today I went and got to pick my mom up and take her to lunch, and and that I can remember, it's the first time that my mom and I have ever gone to lunch together. It's the first time that we've ever not had lunch without my dad, ever. I mean, that's the relationship that they had. And man, if there was a chance to all be together, we were all
Thank
together.
you,
It wouldn't make
Kirsten.
sense to not be together if there was an opportunity to. And so today was the first day that I got to sit down with my mom and just one-on-one talk, and I got to talk a little bit about the Allyssa stuff, and it was absolutely amazing. So really, that was a fun day for me.
This is a cute comment. Oh shoot, where'd it go? Never mind. I'll find it. Oh,
Oh, that's fun. Kolamona,
as
thank you.
much as
That's
I don't agree with transgender, I really like the way you carry yourself and explain.
thank you.
That's what we love.
Hey, what a
Thank
respectful thing to
you.
say. Can I ask you why you don't like transgender?
No, they
Or,
don't agree.
oh, they don't agree, but can I ask you why you don't agree with it? Would that be okay? And respectfully, and please,
Hi,
very, very
Billy.
respectfully. I mean, there's really two questions fundamental questions. Forget bathrooms, forget everything else. The question is, number one, do we get to pick who we choose to become? Does every person get to choose who they become? It's a yes or no question. It's got to be the same for everybody. And do we all get to choose who we love? If we get to choose who we become and choose who we love, then what in the world is going on? What's up with the weird laws and protections and all this other stuff? It's just distractions, for crying out loud. Wake up in the morning, dress to your strengths, live your best life. I mean, there's nothing difficult about that, right?
There's a lot of comments. I'm so sorry.
Do you think I said something about the don't say gay bill? It went too
Thank
fast.
you, Billy,
So here's
for
the
the
deal with
hand heart.
here's my thoughts on the don't say gay bill. Um, Number one, I don't think there should be any sex education in grades K through 5. Period. I don't agree with any sex education, much less gender identity education or any of that stuff. I don't think there's any place for it in the elementary school. Um, but that's not. I would never sign the don't say gay bill. There was so much junk written into that. Stuff that holds the teachers accountable. If they talk about same-sex marriage, or they allow a child to even bring up, two dads or two moms, the parents could literally hold a teacher liable for having those discussions, or harboring those discussions during class. So I don't understand that. So you're telling me that when, first day school and little Johnny comes back and says, oh my gosh, we went to Disney World and it was the greatest thing in my whole life and I've wanted to always go there. And my dad's took me there and we rode every big ride. And he can't finish the story because he just said dad's. The teacher's got to stop him and say, never mind, your vacation wasn't as important as everybody else. Your experience, less important and powerful than everybody else's. I'm going to have to set you down. Otherwise, I could be sued by somebody's parent in here who's a complete a-hole. Does that make sense to put that kind of liability on a teacher? Another thing it says in the Don't Say Gay bill is that there wouldn't be anything in the education system that the church didn't approve of. What? The church is now writing the educational program? They have some kind of filtrate. What? I don't want your church or anybody's church writing the educational program. Education is not for telling people what to think. It's teaching people how to think. So no, I don't agree to give a church the last word as to what can be put in the education material. That's crazy. There's so many weird things like that put in that bill. I would never sign that bill. Whoever took that bill is a goofball, and I don't think you can trust somebody like that. That's just a bad bill, and I don't want sex taught in school at all.
Love you, Mandy.
Thank you, Mama Lena. Really, guys, what I'm trying to do, so there's no misunderstanding my agenda is to normalize this, right? Just normalize it. Because what happens if you normalize it? Well, the suicide rate goes way, way down. The depression goes down. The mental illness problems go down. The discrimination at work goes down. The discrimination everywhere goes down. You have a happier people. You have a healthier society. It was never about bathrooms. Ever, ever. Right? Bathrooms have always been segregated based on the social gender, not the biological gender, not your genetic. Not in the history of bathrooms has anyone had to show their private parts to get in there. Never, never once, right? So they divided the bathrooms up into social genders. This bathroom is set up for the routines of this social gender. This bathroom is set up for the routines of this social gender. That's always been how it's set up. Transgender is just me choosing to live as a girl as my social gender, right? That's what it is. So, you know, the bottom line is I need to live outside of your expectations for me. That's all. I just want to enjoy routines that you don't feel like I should participate in. That's you know, I can't tell you. This wig makes me very, very happy. Doing my makeup tonight, I love it. It takes me to a happy, happy place. So it's frustrating to me that this frustrates people because it hurts nobody. It helps me because I can help everybody. And so it frustrates me that people have a hard time with me picking my own clothes in the morning. And that's amazing that anyone would have a say in the routines that I want to participate in.
Mm.
How can I best support my 20-year-old that came out as trans a few months ago? Oh, what a great question. And boy, is your person lucky to have you. Here you are figuring out what's right. The first thing I could say is there's no right answers. You need to know that right off the bat so you don't freak out. There's no right answers. There's only a right attitude. And the answers are going to come organically as the situations come and the aha moments come for your family. So, you know, don't I'm not saying don't listen to my advice and what's worked for me or my history. I'm saying that your situation is going to be very organic, but what your child needs to know is, hey, with wherever you're at, this is a safe place. And if you'll just let me know where you're at and at least let me know what you need, then this will be a healthy and a safe place for all of us. And we can grow together and no one's doing it on their own. And they need to know that you don't have the answers and you don't need the answers. They're going to come up with the answers and you trust them with the answers that they're good for them. You trust and you have confidence in who they are, in their abilities, and you're going to stand there and if they fall, you're going to pick them up, right? Because that's what parents do.
Thank you for the flowers.
And it's your child is so lucky to have you. So I would just
Does it
basically
smell hot?
it's just me.
Well,
But
yeah,
I would basically make sure that your child just knew, hey, this is a safe place and we can go forwards and we can go backwards. It doesn't matter. We're gonna go where you need to go.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah. You're like Smokey the Bear. Are you still together? Yes, we will be married 26 years on June 1st. So in a few days. So next week, on next Wednesday. And so we're going to do the, thank you for bringing that up. So next Wednesday, we are going to do the live just like this. And then we're going to shoot out to Vegas that night for our anniversary. So we're going to spend our 26th anniversary here with you. And that's amazing. Axel, thank you. Do I think that it's okay to trans women to participate in sports? No, I don't. No, I don't. And if it's, you know, it is what it is. Listen, gender identity, transgender is about gender identity, right? Sports is about athletic ability. They're two totally different things. So if we're going to talk about competitive athletics, then we have to be eliminating the advantages. That's where you got to look at and who's possibly has an advantage. Well, most of my strength, most of my body structure, most of my core, what came through my man puberty, my boy puberty. So once I experienced that puberty, well, then my everything changed, you know, on my physical body. So I don't believe that your physical ability has anything to do with your gender identity. And you know, I know that's a bummer, but I do believe that trans girls should play with girls if they don't experience the male puberty. So if they experience the same, I think in everywhere they should just compete with people who experience the same puberty, because that's is what's going to be a much more fair, you know, playing field. And I understand that right now that leaves a bunch of teenagers out, and that's a bummer. And I'm sorry, but the problem is nobody is ever going to accept transgender if they have to give up stuff. Nobody has to give up anything to let me live my best life. I already have the ability to wake up, put on my clothes, go shopping, live my life, use a safe restroom, right? We don't need restroom laws. We already have restroom laws. There's already a code of conduct. If I'm in the bathroom and I do something inappropriate, there's already penalties for that. If you come in the bathroom and do something to me inappropriate, there's already rules in place for that. There's already a code of conduct. We don't need new laws. We don't need new rules. You know, we need new thinking. You know, that's what we need. Little bits, of course.
That is good.
One of my
I
biggest
love
worries is how
watching you.
others will treat my Amelia. Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to treat him better if they'll come on and join us and just listen and see how normal and how healthy this is, you know. And you said 20 years old, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Yeah. So it is a cruel world. I was so surprised at the reaction of trans. I thought I lived my whole life thinking that I was the only one, but I looked forward to the day I could say, guys, guess what powers I have? Guess what I can do? Like I waited my whole life to like open this Pandora's box to share all of this amazing ability that I had that no one even knew I had. And all of a sudden, people are just tripping out that you shouldn't have those kind of abilities. Those strengths are not natural. And I'm going, they are very natural.
But they were so the reason why I fell in love with him before she came her, because of how awesome and gentle and understanding she was to me being a woman. So
Yeah, there's probably, yeah. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
how
That's
did you
nice.
pick your name and the spelling? This is great.
Andrea picked my name about I don't know 15 years ago, and we spelled it a few different ways.
Well, I just
And so I said, hey, would it be okay if we spelled it this way? Because it's unique and it's fun and it feels, you know, to write that. I mean, do the right. That's it's so beautiful and twirly, and
flowy.
yeah. And so she said yes, and so that's how the spelling came from. Are you guys still together? Yes, we're still together. 26 years.
Thank you, everyone.
Rexla, thank you.
Wow.
Oh, thank you. Not to be
I'm
mean,
a
but you look
trans
better
mama.
as Alyssa.
I
Hey,
was
that's
saying.
not mean. That is so sweet. Thank you. That is not mean. I
Do
love
they?
that.
Do your children still call you dad?
Yes. Yes. Oh, people do call me Allie. That's true. Somebody just
That's
said.
true.
Yeah, absolutely. They call me dad. This is my, even when I'm dressed, their friends come
Oh,
over. Their friends have been on lives. Yes, absolutely. I introduce myself as their dad. They have a mom. I would never fill that role, nor would I try to impede on those motherly, you know, obligation, whatever else.
thank
I
you.
still have father duties to maintain, regardless of how I'm dressed. And so I'm a dad. I'm just a prettier dad. That's all.
It's so cute.
Straight redneck and from Georgia. Thank you for being here.
Oh, did you grow up as Mormon?
Yes. Yep. Grew up in the church. Really very active my whole life. Served a mission in Tokyo, Japan. Now here's I mean, the reality is, embarrassingly, I was a member right up until they, you know, came out against the transgender community, and I was so surprised. Like it blew my mind. I was active, and you know, doing all the right stuff and going to the right places, and all of a sudden I
Thank
woke
you,
up
and
one
say
day,
Mimi.
and all of a sudden there are places and ceremonies and things that were no longer available for no other reason that than someone said, "Hey, transgender." That's what, right? So that, all of a sudden this comes to light, and I just wake up and things became unavailable to me. And the reality is, it just wouldn't be healthy for me to be in a community that would even allow me to feel like less, even allow me, much less prove that I'm less by taking stuff away and then asking the members not to support me. Can you imagine if I walked into a church and knowing every single person has been told by the leadership not to support me, that this is bad, that this is wrong, that this is sin, that I wake up every day being offensive to God? Can you imagine how I would feel walking around a chapel like that after all of those years of service? I mean, that would be
Thank you, Candace.
that wouldn't be healthy for me. Not that I couldn't do it, but it wouldn't be healthy for me.
Her name is Kevin when she identifies as Kevin. That was asked
What is your church called?
in Vegas.
In Vegas. So we're in Vegas. We like to go to Vegas for church, and it's called the Crossing, the Windmill campus, and it is amazing. It's such a good church.
Oh, thanks for the roses.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm a trans dad. Oh,
Trans dad power. Trans dad power.
Do you get offended when people accidentally identify as you as Mel?
No, not at all, because I've lived 99% of my life as male. You know, this whole female thing, this is new. I mean, that's the purpose of this, is to see where this goes, and just to see how this feels. And so, you know, I've lived almost all my life as a male. So no, the pronouns don't The pronouns don't affect me. Loss of access affects me.
Let's see. What was the thought process
Oh,
through
thank you.
transition? Was it a long standing or something else?
No, no, it was instant every time it was available.
Mm-hmm.
So it was never, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, wind up a girl and have, SRS, which is sexual reassignment surgery. It was, hey, wait a minute, boys are getting their ears pierced. Okay, I'm in on that deal, right? So I get my ears pierced. So as things became available, I took advantage of those things, and and there I had some a fat transfer process where they took out some fat on my belly. You couldn't tell because I'm so chubby right now, but and then they tried to put that on my hips and in my butt, and but when I was having it done, I thought it was gonna last forever. Like I'm like, this is it. Like I am never going back. Like this, I'm gonna be this, Jessica Rabbit, whatever. And it wasn't like that at all. But I went into it with that mindset, and when I came out of it,
You're not chubby, they said.
and when I came out
Thank
of it,
you.
I didn't have one regret. I wasn't like, what have I done? Like, oh, nothing. Like
Almost
I
26
could
years.
not wait to heal. I could not wait to go out and to be a better me. So now it didn't work at all, and so that's why I still wear a suit and everything every day for work.
Mm.
But the bottom line is there was no regrets. I had no. I've
Hi,
never
Bill.
considered myself having body dysphoria because it's never set me back. I never concentrate on it. I
Mhm.
never focus on it.
Thank you,
But
Billy,
if
for
I
the
got the
hand
chance to
hearts.
improve it, I seem to be super willing to do that. So I don't know if that even helps or what we're talking about.
Did you feel more female after you got married, like you gained her spirit? That's a good question.
Yes. You know what? It's a good question, and the answer is yes, but not because of a spirit thing. It wasn't a spiritual thing. It was a flexibility thing. It was, hey,
Mm-hmm.
look, I like feminine things, and it's okay. Well, then wear some feminine things. So yes, it was amazing, only because I was allowed to experience feminine things as it was important to me. So that's why I'm super lucky.
Oh, wow.
It is hard. It's hard to understand. I know it is. It would be so hard for me to understand, and that's why it's so hard for me to explain. But if I was on the other side of this, I'd be going, "Get out of here! Get out of here with that! That what you're saying doesn't make sense." But what I'm saying makes 100% sense. These little kids who are 4 and 5 going, "No, mom, I'm not putting on pants. I was born
Thank you,
for a dress."
Billy.
I mean, that's real. I can tell you that
Thank you,
is real,
Snowy.
and that child's not going to change their
Snowy
mind ever.
Queen.
And Ben Shapiro and these guys who say, "Oh, this doesn't make sense." 80% of kids who are like that change. Show me them. Show me one. Show me one.
Mm-hmm.
All of these kids are out there. Where are they? Where are all these people that detransitioned and all of a sudden realized that they were healthier? Show them to me, for crying out loud. Now that doesn't mean that people can't go too far and say, "Oh no, that was too far. I shouldn't have done the bigger boobs or whatever." And go, "That's not what I'm saying." And you can readjust and you can go back. I go back and forth as Kevin, and Allyssa. But the bottom line is, you don't talk somebody into being transgender, and you surely don't talk them out. There is no
Mm-hmm.
cure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a condition. It's not an illness. An illness you can get better. No, this is not an illness. It's a strength, really, but it's a condition, and that condition is treated with hormones. And once those hormones are good in your body, your whole system knows it, just like you and your hormones, right? And if your hormones are off, and some of you have hormone issues, you know how significant that is. It's crazy significant. So this is a condition. It's not an illness. Um, and so think of it that way. Can you imagine if we treated diabetics the way that people are treated trans? Like we're gonna let them in the bathroom, but they've got needles. What are they gonna do in the bathroom with those needles? They're just, I mean, they could stab you in the neck and then, and then limp off. I mean, it's weird to treat a condition with such malice when it affects nobody. I need Ben Shapiro. I need Candace Owens. I need your church to tell me what is the danger of letting people dress to their strengths? What is that? What does society look like if we allowed people to dress to their strengths and be them best selves? Tell me what the danger is in just letting me exist exactly like everybody else. What's the danger of normalizing me? I guess that's the real question. So I would
Mm-hmm.
love somebody to just tell me what is the danger that we're all worried about, because my gut feeling tells me that all of this is just based on fear of the unknown. right? They're going to take away sports. They're going to take away this. What do we have to give up? You don't have to give up anything. When you meet a stranger, you find out their name, you refer to them that name. It's the same. You might not have thought that Allyssa was going to be the name I gave you, but just use it because that's what you do in respectful communication, right? You don't have to alter anything you're already doing to normalize who I am and make me feel healthy and like I'm part of a community that wants me and values me. It doesn't change you at all.
Thank you, Justin.
It makes you better.
So nice.
Oh, perfectly.
I didn't
40, thank you.
understand at first, but I made a lot of trans and non-binary friends, and they're the best.
Oh, yay. That's great.
It's so cute.
What's your take on children taking hormones? I think the children should get on blockers until they know exactly what they want. You know, we don't know. Transgender is a spectrum. It's a whole spectrum. Some people only need to be here. Some people, they're at 4 years old and they'll never know anything but being all the way over here. So where you are in that spectrum, you know, it's a process. It's a process of courage, a process of support. And that process has a lot to do with the environment, what's available, and the confidence or the stability or the fear of that person. So, you know, are hormones right at a very young age for some people? Yes. Is it better to wait for other people? Yes. I would say wait until you know it's no longer the right time to wait. And then, you know, move forward to that point.
So you wouldn't say you are gender fluid, right? Since you switch back from male and female.
You know, I could say gender fluid. I could say gender fluid. I could say non-binary. I could say gender expansive. There's so many terms that fit the way that I live my life. I use transgender only because it's the broadest of them all, and I don't want anyone to look at me and say, "Oh no, that's gender fluid. That's the definition of gender fluid," and then them question everybody else who refers to themselves as gender fluid. No, I'm just transgender, you know, and the terminology is not really that important to me because the terminology changes as you progress through this, right? Right here, you're not transgender, maybe, right? You're just curious, like you have an awareness right here, an awareness. Why are all of these things so important to me? Why do I understand these things? And you get a curiosity. Why is that? What's so great about that? Right? Then over here, you have to experience, you have to, and all this. So are you a cross-dresser here? Is your pronoun cross-dresser right here? Right?
You're
and then
not
you keep
offensive.
going.
That's
Yeah, not offensive at all. No. So I'm just kind of explaining the timeline, but you can see how at different points, you can take different pronouns that better represent where you are in your progress. So, you know, pronouns, I don't think we need to really worry about pronouns. It's just he or she, right? When you see somebody, if they're dressed in a dress, my gosh, just refer to them as her or she. If they give you a name, refer to the person as their name. But there's really no difference.
All right.
You have a great mod team. I do. April, thank you. Thank you for noticing that. That's great. No, I'm not a doctor. Thank you for laughing.
I didn't laugh.
Trans
I was like,
women.
oh.
How do I feel about trans women competing in sports? I'm against it. I'm against it, and I think if that goes through, I think it's going to set the whole movement back, because, you know, athletics has so much to do with your puberty and the development at that age, which is why we're talking about hormones, because of the significance of that puberty, right? So I believe that you should only compete in competition athletics with people who experience the same puberty as you did. So for the young trans girls who don't experience a male puberty, they'll get out there with their friends and their, you know, their compadres, and they're going to compete, and they're going to be, you know, fairly the same size and shape and structure. So no, I don't think transgender is about gender identity, and athletics is about physical ability. They're two different things. And if we lump them together, then you have garbage going on like in North Dakota, right? With it's over a sports bill. And so because they went against a sports bill, now they also took away the bathrooms, you know, from hold the phone. They're two different issues. Even though I'm not going to go on the soccer field, I still need to use the bathroom, right? Where am I going to go? In the men's restroom like this? Do you think that I'm really safe using the men's restroom going into a mall like this? I would not be safe everywhere, right? I wouldn't be. It's interesting because if I'm ever out and something feels awkward, I dip into a girl's restroom because I know a man's not going to be in there. I know that I'm at least safe there until I can, figure out what I want to do or call somebody or give the people time to go away or whatever. It's a safe, it's one, in fact, it may be the only safe place in the public for me as a trans girl. Where else am I going to go that there's not people that have been abused or bullied or, you know, whatever, and they got to prove something. They got to prove how great they are and prove how weak I am. You know, how long do you think that's going to go before that happens to me? So it's interesting that that's one of the safest, the only safe place I can go. And you're going, oh, it's not safe if Allyssa goes in there. It's never going to be safer than if I'm in there, right? There's already laws in place that govern, you know, that behavior. If I misbehave in the bathroom, there's already a code of conduct for that. If you come into the bathroom to, you know, harm me, there's already a code of conduct. You can't do that either. So, you know, there's penalties that go along with that. We don't need new rules. We don't need new laws. We need new thinking. We need a better bias. That's what we need. How are you since your dad passed away? You know what? Really good. Really good. Thank you for asking that. It's been surprising because my dad and I were very, very close, and you know, he was my mentor, and it was always nice to know that when I didn't know what was going on, there was somebody I could turn to that's just always right, always knew what was going on. So I always felt there was this higher kind of intelligence there. And so when he passed, I kind of felt that mantle go, okay, you better figure it out on your own, you know? Mm-hmm. So there was kind of a comfort, a security blanket with my dad for sure. And I thought it would be very, very grieving, but I really don't feel that. I feel a lot of peace. He was old, he was sickly, he wasn't, he in a lot of pain, and it just felt like things are in order. I feel the peace of order. So, you know, I don't feel grief as much as I do peace for his situation and us. Male to female child is 28 and got a gun to feel safe. She's scared, which breaks my heart. That she should have a gun to feel safe. Yes. So, that's fantastic. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I would be able to defend myself as well.
Has anyone ever stopped you from going into the women's restroom?
No. But if it's awkward, then I just would go somewhere else, or I would wait, or I would use a family restroom, right? Or a handicap restroom. I mean, that's already available.
Aw, thank you for being here.
If you're uncomfortable with me being in there, there's a family bathroom right there. I use it all the time. Why don't you use it once in a while if you're uncomfortable with me? But let me ask you this. Okay, babe, I'm gonna change this slide deck right here. See, here's the problem with the bathrooms. Can we talk about bathrooms for a minute, because it's kind of a deal right now.
Sorry, those questions won't be answered for a minute. We're not ignoring, I promise.
Okay, let's look at this for 1 second. I don't want to. I want to burn through these actually. This is my transgender 101 slideshow, but I just want to talk about the bathroom slides.
What would your life be like without your wife?
Uh-oh, something's happening. Dropbox is happening. What would my life be like without my wife? You know, I don't know. It's so hard to know. But I don't know. I really don't know. But she's been amazing. I know that my life is amazing because of my wife. I know that. And I got to be, you know, extremely, extremely grateful for that. Guys, let's talk about the bathrooms for a second. Let's talk about what the options are. Let's throw all the options on the table and figure out what the best deal is here. Because there's a lot of trans people out there that are going to need to use the restroom. And remember, we're trying to do the least amount of damage, right? The least amount of damage. These bathrooms are segregated by the social gender. They always have been. You've never had to show your in order to use the bathroom. That's never been a thing. Okay, so well, I know that traditionally, you know, males would use the men's and females would use the women's, and that's not only traditional, it's how it is right now too. It's still the same way. Now, most of the males have an XY chromosome. Most of the females have an XX chromosome. So people are saying, oh no, the chromosomes are going to determine which bathroom you go into. That doesn't make, it can't. It can't, because there's too many chromosome combinations. An XX male. Guys, there are girls out there or males out there that have an X and an X chromosome. That is their chromosome combination, but they're males. So you're telling me that person has now got to use the other bathroom because you're going to make him use the bathroom based on his chromosomes? That doesn't make sense. There are females out there with XY already. If you guys don't already know this, that's a problem. If anybody is voting on the bathroom stuff and gender stuff and they don't understand that females can be XY and males can be XX, then we gotta start there. So there are so many different structures. How would you possibly use that to determine which bathroom? It was already set up to be, divided by the social gender. This social gender has this routines. We set up the bathroom for that. This, social gender has these routines. We set this bathroom up for that. Use whichever one, is routine is the one you need. That's already how it's set up. So, look at this. Look at this bathroom here. So, blah. Look at this. These are two bathrooms. So on one side you have blah. On the other side, you have blah, 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 blah. There's already so many unisex bathrooms out there, all over Seattle, all over probably your city. There are places that already allow both sexes to go in there. So what problems have been? Are they shutting these places down? Ask them. We should find this place and say, hey, how has your business been affected? Have the trans just ran everybody out? Is there just terrible deed after terrible deed in the blah, blah room? We should find out, because there's so many restrooms that have already dealt with the problem, but where we have whole states shutting down the ability for me to use a safe restroom. How does that make sense to anybody? And it won't make sense to you when your child comes up and says, this is my reality. And all of a sudden you're going to go, wait a minute, we got to figure out how you're going to use the restroom safely. Because all those a-holes out there, they don't realize that you're going to have to use the bathroom at some point. And it's not until your people get put in jeopardy where you start to be a little more flexible on weird thinking.
Are bathrooms what's more important right now? No, but that's what we're talking about. I saw a bathroom with
Bathrooms aren't for protecting women and children. Bathrooms are for protecting everybody. Everybody. If a weird person's gonna do something bad in the bathroom, they're gonna do that regardless of what they're dressed. Bad people do bad things. If you're telling me that trans people are inherently worse than other people, that's crazy. That's crazier than a wooden watch. Trans people aren't deviant. They're different. Deviance is deviance. Grown men in dresses. Oh, thank you. That's good, right? Thank you for that, Rose. I know it's a hot topic. But what are the options? Really, we already have options that are working. So why would we be shutting down whole states? Why would we, and this is again why I don't want trans girls to play sports with cisgender girls, because that's a concession. That's it. We're gonna do some transgender 101. We're just gonna do this slideshow because I love this. At the funeral, I met up with one of my cousins who I hadn't seen for a very long time, and I got to explain Allyssa and the whole deal. And she's a counselor, which is so great. And so she went and she watched some of the lives off of the YouTube, some of the past lives. And then she called me and said, hey, is it okay if I tell my mom, which is my aunt? And I said, absolutely. And so she had that conversation and she said it was spicy, but she actually got to use a lot of the things that she learned watching my live. So she understood a bunch of dynamics that she didn't understand before. And she's a counselor. So that made me feel really good that some of the people that I'm able to touch and help are my own people. And that was a good moment, for me. So I do want to give some education to help clarify some of the differences. And if I can if I can eliminate the confusion, then it's going to be a lot easier, to make the tough decisions. Tough decisions are hard to make when they're too confusing. So what does it mean to be transgender? So transgender, this is so important that you understand this, it's referring to the social gender that someone chooses to represent themselves. It's either the masculine or the feminine energy that drives, that motivates, that best describes the internals of that individual. It's one of the most obvious indicators of what that person values and how that person wants to be treated socially. What's transgender not about? Let's start eliminating some confusion right now. It's not about genetics or chromosomes, right? Because we know that some women have the Y chromosome and some men have an XX chromosome. So we know that's not about genetics. It's not about sexual orientation. It has nothing to do with that. Gender identity is who you go to bed as. Sexual orientation is who you go to bed with. That's the difference there. Transgender is not a function of the physical abilities like giving birth, menstrual cycles, that kind of stuff. So what do we conclusively know about the transgender community? Well, we know that 40+% are going to try to kill themselves, right? They're not reaching out. They're wanting out. They're saying support for me is not out there. If they just were picking it, if it was just a game, wouldn't it be easier just to stop dressing than to jump off of a bridge? That's crazy. Suicide rates like this, and you're saying, oh, they just choose this? That's incredible. There's not a cure. You don't talk someone in or talk someone out. The number of people identifying as transgender, it's increasing, and it's increasing at a very fast pace. It's not going away. So we need to make the right rules now before we set up a lot of people for a different, tougher existence than they need to have.
Wow, I'm gonna tell this motherfucker where to go.
Transgender people are they're going to need to use the restroom. Period. So they're not going away. It's getting more and more. And I'm going to pass these slides because we've already done them. So if we can't do it by chromosomes, then the only way to do the bathroom is by your social gender. Your social gender is not determined by how often you're able to dress or how good you're doing it or how amazing your makeup is. This is the social gender. This is how I want to be treated. That's the social gender that you're picking. This would be the appropriate restroom for how you're presenting socially. So what does support look like for the transgender community? Well, let all people dress to their strengths. You have that ability. Strange that you don't think that I should have that ability. Judge all people by their actions, not their clothing. Seems simple. Allow everyone to use a restroom that's safe for them. And call everyone by the name that they choose to answer to. I mean, I know that seems simple because you already have all of those things, right? So why wouldn't you let me have all of those things? Because I love to be beautiful. Why? That doesn't make any sense at all. So here's what the transgender community does not need. We don't need sex or gender education in grades K through 5. We don't need that at all. We don't need advantages in employment, education, or athletics. We don't need access to anything that's not available to everyone. We don't need protections and rights unique to the trans community. We don't need that. So what concessions then need to be made for the trans people, right? Isn't that the question that everyone needs to answer so they can say yes or no? What are the concessions? What do I have to give up? What is my level of participation in your gender identity, right? As Dave Chappelle would say. And it's actually a really fair question, and I like the way that he worded it. You don't need to give up anything except for bad bias and unfounded fear. That's all you have to give up. Live your life as normal, just like you are right now. Trans people, they don't need an advantage. They just need an opportunity. But I'll tell you this, no church or government should get any say in who somebody becomes or who somebody loves. That is no place for the church or the government. We get to be who we be, and we get to love who we love. The transgender community does not need your permission. This is an important deal. Trans community, listen to me. You don't need the permission. You need the courage. Go live your life, dress your strengths, and go be your best self. Be a strong part of the community, and everybody's going to be fine. They don't even know what they're afraid of. They don't even know what they're fearing. But the transgender community does not need your permission. It needs your compassion. It's a community increasing daily that needs to live outside of your gendered expectations for them. Now, this human condition is so complex, but the survival rate, it seems to be congruent with the level of support. Think about that. What does the support look like right now for this community? The support is very, very weak, which explains why the suicide rate is so high. What does support look like? I don't know. It looks like this, I guess.
Someone said, why do you keep pressuring children into...
You don't have to understand the why to support the who. That's the bottom line. You don't have to understand the why. I don't understand the why. Why do I have these strengths? Why do I have these abilities? Why do I have these passions? I don't know why, but I'm surely not going to bury these talents to make you feel comfortable about where you are. It's not my job to make you feel comfortable. You would like to humiliate me because you're embarrassed that you don't know what makes you this happy, what makes you grateful, which makes you an amazing best self. You're embarrassed that you don't know what's doing this for you. Well, that's you got to figure that out. There's no reason to humiliate me because you're embarrassed that I figured out what my true self looks like. Go find you. Okay, I'm sorry. I just had to go on a little rant right there. Let me take this back right here. Hang on one sec. I can't read this. Oh, thank you. She hasn't said one fact. Oh, what fact should we talk about? Let's do this. You give me some facts and let's talk about those. Please don't go. Please stay and let's talk about the facts. I want to be here. I'll take the tough questions, but you need to answer them as well. So let's talk about that. Oh, thank you. My mouth is so dry. You know what? I don't have any thoughts on those things. I know almost nothing about them. How do we help family members understand? That's really tough, and this is why it's so good that Caitlyn Jenner came out, because she at least opened dialogue. People could at least say, hey, Caitlyn Jenner, hey, I feel a lot like that. I really understand that, or however, the best thing you can make your family understand is that it's still that person. The difference is you don't even know who that person is yet. They don't even know that person. They surely would not want to stop a relationship that hasn't even got to its sweetest point yet. They know half of a person. They know a struggling person. They know a frustrated and a scared and a disappointed and a struggling person. That's what they know. Wait till they meet the person that you're going to build. They'll see it in the glow. I use the women's restroom when I'm dressed as Allyssa. I use the men's restroom as when I'm dressed as Kevin. Oh, thank you.
Do you receive more respect, understanding from younger generations?
Yes, absolutely. I receive a lot more respect and understanding from younger generations, and it's interesting because I'm 50 years old. And so I got to be close to my father, and I knew my grandfather. Right now, I've got kids who have kids. And so I get to see pretty far both directions right now. And I absolutely see a completely difference. And I see these memes. I have a meme. I wish I had it ready right now, and it talked about, the world's going to hell because we're just a bunch of sissies and there's no one can go to war, no one can, go hunting. And just the degradation of manhood. But essentially the younger generation of sissies are more sensitive. They're too sensitive, it said. And the reality is that's true. They are more sensitive, but they're also braver than your generation. 100%. Right? The blacks had to help themselves. You didn't stand up and help them up. The women helped themselves. The gays had to help themselves. They had to stand up and be a voice. No one was saying, hey, gays, you should be able to marry who you want to marry. Hey, women, you should have all of these rights. I want to make sure that you're getting this equal pay. No one's saying that. They had to stand up for them, right? Because some of the men, the manly men, weren't man enough to fight for their peoples. We got this young generation. Yeah, they're more sensitive, but they're braver, and they're saying, oh, no, no, we're not letting anyone sit on the back of the bus. No, no, no. We would have never allowed that to happen. We wouldn't have even allowed my friend to go sit somewhere else or drink from a fountain or not get to vote or not. No, that wouldn't even happen. So are they more sensitive? Yeah, they are. And do they need to be? Yeah, they do need to be 100%. That doesn't mean that the previous generations weren't needful and that callousness wasn't needful. It was. It was 100% needful, right? We needed Vikings 100%, but we don't need Vikings now. And our genetics are just showing that. We are organically changing apparently to the needs of the whatever, universe. But yeah, it's a younger generation's much more sensitive. They're much more aware. They're much more in tune. They're just simply less callous. I need to put on a little lip gloss. Hey, what time is it? You know what I'm going to do? Mm-hmm. April, thank you. Do trans women get offended if men say they are only attracted to women who are not transgender? I don't know. I could not answer for everybody what offends them. To me, that wouldn't be offensive at all. I mean, I appreciate the honesty. My gosh, why would you want to be surprised later? So I don't know who would be offended, but I'm never offended with honesty. I'd like to know exactly what I'm working with as well. So I don't know about other people. It does not offend me. This generation is weak, not observant, and so much more. Well, this generation definitely has different challenges than your generation because they have more distractions. I mean, I'm trying to find transgender stuff in the Dewey Decimal System. There was no Google, there was no internet. And, these guys have access to everything. They have distractions. They have to, film everything and do this. So are they different people? Yes, they are 100% different people, because of the distractions they have and what that does to the brain and just the situation and the time and technology and what they have to understand to keep up with technology, much less be a part of it, much less improve it. So yeah, they're not weaker than your generation. They're just different. But weird to think that you're the strongest generation anyway. I love how we as generations becoming so progressive so fast. It is progressive, but it doesn't feel very fast because all I want to do is go shopping, and while I'm there, if I have to use the bathroom and come back, and that's a problem. So it doesn't feel like it's progressing very fast, but it should, and I know it is. I know it is. Sooner or later, people are going to wake up and go, "Wait a minute, why are we talking about the bathrooms when there's all this child trafficking and all these horrible things going on and all this government corruption and corporate corruption, and these guys have us fighting over bathrooms, and it's crazy the effort and energy and money that goes into this non-issue. Someone, not one person has been able to tell me what is the danger of just letting people dress they want to dress. Somebody please tell me the danger of that. What is the potential damage? I know the damage of how the current situation is the potential damage. Is it worse than this? Because I don't understand how it could be. I don't understand what would have to happen for the damage to be worse than it is right now. Okay, so maybe what I should do is just take all this off now. I'll just transition back into Kevin, and we can end as Kevin instead of Alyssa. Is that? And may I just say how pretty? Oh, thank you. See, I hear comments like that. Slaw just joined, and may I say just how pretty you are? I hear that, and I'm like, why would I take that off? Why would you want to go be Kevin right now? That doesn't make sense. You're, yeah, that's.
That's what I said. But
Thank you, baby.
I
Uh,
considered a lesbian.
is Andrea considered a lesbian? It's a weird question. Um, because I don't know. I mean, do you talk to everybody about who they sleep with? Remember, gender identity is who you go to sleep as. Sexual orientation is who you go to sleep with. So, do you consider her a lesbian? You can consider her whatever you like. Sometimes we make love and I look just like this. And however you want to think of her, I'm sure she's okay with. And sometimes it's fun for me to think like that way too. So, what are we, sexually? We're active. That's all. You can pick your own, have your own thoughts and pronouns up there for whatever is good for you. I'm just
Too.
confused on why it's a problem to teach students about gender and trans.
Sex ed.
Sex ed, because there's no child who needs to understand any sex education in grades 1 through 5. What would they do with that? Why do they need that information? They're not distracted. Most people are not distracted in those ages with those issues. The kids are going to figure it out. Every time a trans kid does get to go to school, it's a piece of cake for the students. And the students don't have a problem. The teachers are the ones who can't. All of a sudden, I don't know how to teach math to this person in a dress. What are you talking about? So I don't think there's a place in the elementary system for sex education. I just don't think it's helpful. The gender, if somebody really, really has questions about that stuff at that age, then they would go to their counselor or to their parents, and get that information there. But wait to distract them till it's going to be a more useful time. It's giving them information that's only going to be a distraction. Why would we give them more distractions? They have enough. They have every gaming thing. They have too many distractions right now. Let's not give them one more thing to fiddle with.
Someone asked, why do I feel both female and male?
Why do you feel both female and male? Because you probably are. Because you probably are.
Beautiful doing it.
I everybody is most people are driven by a masculine energy or a feminine energy. And that energy is gonna, drive you or propel you. It's more like a magnet. It's more like a magnet than it is a driving force behind me. And it's more like a magnet because it's a fixed thing, and it doesn't matter which direction I'm going. This magnet is pulling me back to the girl side. There is no me not feeling this way. So I consider it more of a magnet because it's going to draw me from whichever direction I'm going. Or if it's just a force that drives me, then it can just drive me any direction that I want it to go. And that's not what it does. Oh, thank you.
Someone said that their sister's trans and had an awful time and doesn't leave their house.
The trans sister has an awful time and doesn't leave the house.
Mm.
Oh, that's terrible. Is because she's afraid of being bullied? Is because she doesn't feel like she looks good enough? I mean, I would find out why, because that's not healthy. You can't feel alone for an extended period of time and be healthy. It's not possible. So I would definitely figure out what's keeping her from taking the next step, and just know that you're there to support her because she needs to get out. If nothing else, she needs to get on a Zoom call. I'll Zoom call with her, and we can communicate and feel comfortable. That way. How do I guilt knowing I was born male, but related female? Why would you be guilty? It's a strength, it's a talent you have. You were born male. You understand a lot about that world, but you understand a lot about this world too. Your perspective goes like this. It's not just so much blunt force trauma. There's so much texture and gentleness and so much nurturing energy on this side. Why in the world would you feel guilty for having a bigger tool belt than some people? Don't feel guilty. If you feel guilty about anything, you feel guilty that you haven't used all of those tools enough. You shouldn't feel bad about, your strengths. My gosh. Don't feel guilty. Feel empowered. She's been bullied to the point of isolating herself. We try to get her to my house, but she's scared. Oh my gosh. You see this? And why? And why is she bullied? She's bullied because of bias that people got from their ignorant parents, who got it from their church because their church has a certain business model that it has to maintain. This is insane that people are being bullied for dressing to their strengths. We got to change the bias, and it's not going to change until we normalize this, until people get to wake up in the morning and pick out their own clothes and go live their best life. There's always going to be, bullies. This has to be normalized because too many people need to leave the house, and they need to use the bathroom, and they need to live their lives, and they need to do it in community that supports them and respects them and protects them and encourages them and inspires them. You can't do that in your closet. You can't do that with people throwing rocks at your windows.
My daughter just found out about me. She walked in on me dress.
Daughter found out by walking in undressed.
Mm.
Well, that's going to be an interesting conversation. Yeah, that escalated quickly. Let us know how that goes. It does not need to be normalized. Why do you say that, Laura? Why doesn't it need to be normalized? And please don't go away. Please answer the question. So if it doesn't need to be normalized, why? What's the danger of normalizing it? That's what I need to understand. I hope I don't miss her comment. I don't get so many of the comments. I feel like people maybe answer. And let me see. Oh gosh, I hope she answers. Laura, yeah, Laura, please don't go away. Please answer the question. Why doesn't it need to be normalized? You have people that are just trying to live their best life just like you. They just want to live outside of your expectations for them. Why would you insist that other people live within your expectations? And why do you have expectations for anybody? It doesn't affect you one way or the other. So why in the world wouldn't you want people to be healthy? Knowing the situation, knowing that transgender is increasing, that suicide is up to here, that there's no risk except for the person who's transgender, why wouldn't you want people to feel normal and healthy and valued? Please help me understand that.
She said men cannot be women and women cannot be men. Fact.
That's a fat you. Oh my gosh. Let me ask you this. Do I or do I not have the right to pick out my clothes in the morning?
Read her last comment.
Um,
Live your best life all you want, but shoving this false narrative down others' throats, that doesn't.
no, but I don't understand. You wait, you're leaving angry and you didn't offer one thing? That's weird. That's weird to come and be so loud and have nothing to offer. I need to understand why normalizing it is going to be bad for society. Everybody needs to know that. So if that's the thing, let's talk about that. So don't, and this is just so typical. Usually, the loudest boos come from the cheapest seats. There's no information, there's just bias because you're pastor or, whatever. Do you even understand anything about transgender and the genetics and anything that's going on? Because that's too broad of a statement and too many people are suffering to make comments and statements like that. Thank you, Iron Giant. That's nice, thank you. I know I do get a little bit worked up because I really want to encourage, a conversation, and nobody wants to have it. They only want to have criticism, and I don't understand that. I mean, I'll take the heat, but get in the kitchen with me. Let's take heat together. It doesn't make sense to criticize and offer nothing and move on. It's just so weird. Thank you.
So I love
Oh,
the way
thank
you
you.
framed it like a superpower of being feeling female and male.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I hope you can get your sister to watch. I would love that. I would love if she would watch, and maybe we can talk. DM me and I'll have a conversation, with you guys. You can also join our Discord. Guys, everybody can join our Discord. So if you go into the link tree, in my link tree, there's all kinds of other social platforms. Um, you can get to Discord. Um, you can get to our OnlyFans page.
What?
This is joking. It's joking. That was funny though, babe. You actually coughed across the whole room. That was a joke. I was just checking for a reaction. Got one. But go to the link tree and you can link right there. And yeah. Oh,
You're
thank
so
you.
cute, babe. Is your makeup linked? We haven't
We
linked your
haven't
makeup.
created all of the product links for the makeup. We need to do that still. I didn't check the lighting. The lighting's not very good in here. Okay, should I take this off? Should we break it down and get into Kevin and then break away to Vegas? Does anybody? Oh, thank you, Terry. Does anybody want to see Kevin, or would you prefer that we do this for about another 15 minutes? Whatever you want. I'll stay dressed, or I'll change into Kevin for the last 15 minutes if you want. Thank you for saying that.
What
Right here, it's 8:22 here.
time? I say stay Alyssa until we get to Vegas, but that's just me.
Kevin. I've never seen Kevin before.
Let's
Kevin.
see,
Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's go, Kevin. I would go to Vegas dressed, but our plans got a little mucked up, and so we can't stay for a long time. So we're just kind of a run down and run back. So I don't have that. Okay, let's do Kevin.
You're so pretty, babe. Just
No. All right. I'm gonna start with the rings. Now,
so
guys, what I'm gonna use to take off the makeup is this product from Bella May, and it's so incredibly good. So let me.
can I ask you
Yes,
a
babe.
question?
Yes.
Do you? I feel a sense of hesitation for you to take it off. Do you feel depressed when you take it off? Like, is it kind of like a letdown? Like when I
So
take my makeup off, I'm like, oh, thank goodness. But
So Andrew's asking, she's saying, "Hey, I feel a sense of like hesitation to take it down right now. Like, so are you does it make you depressed? Are you going to get sad and, be depressed going to Vegas if you take it off? Why the hesitation is what she's asking. Um, it's weird. I always wait till the last minute to get undressed. I'll always, if we're done at 10 o'clock, I'm up till 1 doing nothing, eating popsicles. It doesn't even matter. I just usually will wait because I just feel like this is where I heal, like this, that my body literally vibrates differently, that there's a different frequency, that I'm operating from. And so, no, because I'm going to take it off to drive to Vegas anyway. So, so I'll
then
be
why
I'll be
aren't you
Kevin.
going to dress as Alyssa in Vegas?
Oh, not this trip, just because it's such a short trip.
And because you don't want to take the wig. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So if I'm only going
hassle.
overnight, if I'm only going for one night, then I'm not going to take wigs and bra. I'm not going to take the whole gamut. I mean, I've got a really awesome, amazing travel kit, but I don't want to break everything down or reset it up just for one night, unless I had plans. If I had plans and I was going to go out to a concert, or if my plans were to be Alyssa that night, yes, that I would do all of that. Um, so that's thoughtful, babe, to think about that. All right, so the product that I'm going to use, let me take off the jewelry as well, is a Bella May product, and it's a cleanser, and I can't believe how good it works. I'm going to show it to you right
Do you
now.
have it up there?
Yeah, I have it right here. You know what else? A lot of people ask me about a binder. They call it bandages last time, and so I wear a bra now. I have not had any kind of surgeries as far as top surgeries or anything else. I had a little bit of a fat transfer to my butt and to my thighs, but the hormones have been having been on hormones for 7 years. Well, I've got some chest tissue, and so I have to wear a very 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 tight binder if I'm not dressed. And so I'll show you, with a binder, without a binder, and a t-shirt, and you can see, what I'm talking about and why that binder is so important. I'll answer some questions while I do this. Thanks for being so open. Oh yeah, thank you for being here. Oh, Chris, no, don't say I'm pretty, because I'm gonna stop taking my stuff off. Isn't it funny? I don't know that I've ever responded to anyone saying, hey, you're handsome. Like my whole life, you're handsome. Oh my gosh, right? But someone says I'm pretty, I'm just like, you're my best. Here's $10. Here, say it again. I've got another 10. It's just incredible that there's not compliments as Kevin, or meaningful ones to me anyway.
Someone wants to ask you if you feel the label is important.
The label's to me, it's not important, but it's important to a lot of people, because think about it, this is their description, and everybody gets to describe themselves. Everybody is. This person's saying a man can't be a woman, and a woman can't be a man. Hey, I get to be whatever I want. Look at this. You can't tell me that I'm not feeling what I'm feeling, and this happiness is not real. You don't get to tell me that. Am I a woman? It doesn't matter whatever your definition of a woman is. I love the people that come on and say, "What's a woman?" Why does it matter? Does my definition or your definition change whether or not I have the ability to be as beautiful as I can? That definition doesn't matter. So quit asking confusing things, right? Um, do you think there will come a time you will stay Alyssa? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Kevin was not whole without Alyssa, 100%. And I don't know that Alyssa would be whole without Kevin. I'm still a dad. I'm still a husband. I still have, um, you know, there's still a lot of good in Kevin. Whether or not I smile as much, whether or not I'm as radiant or grateful, there's that's still useful and purposeful for not myself but my family as well. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I wig on, wig off to take the makeup off.
Or on. Wig on. Do you want me to clip it in the back?
Yeah, is there like a really big clip there? That'll be great. Thank you, babe. So cool. No, thank you, King.
There you go.
Okay, so this product
They're so pretty.
this product is from Bella May, and I've used this already, but I saved this one because I wanted to use it on the live. So it's a Bella May product, hydrating cleanser, and I've got a dry, very 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 soft cloth, and I'm going to put this on this dry cloth and watch what it does to the makeup. It's crazy. Although I need to take my lashes off really quick. It's nuts. With mascara and eyeliner, how you look like
Oh,
the Scarecrow. That movie, Scarecrow.
I'll be honest, I don't understand it because I've never lived it, but I think you are gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for not understanding it and still supporting me and allowing me to be. Thank you. That really means a lot, because there's no way I can explain it. I don't even know. I don't have the words to explain why I have these abilities and strengths. So thank you for just allowing it and being here with us. Okay, So I should take off these earrings too, probably.
Your lash case is adorable.
No, thank you.
Your wife being fan number 1. We love to see it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, watch this. This is insane. In like a really good way. If I can remember how to open it. No, no, I haven't. I got it right here. So I'm just gonna squirt. This is a dry, really, really, really soft towel. But you see how much makeup I'm using? So I got foundation, some contour, eyeshadow, um, mascara, eyeliner. I've got it all. I've got it all. Usually, if there's an opportunity to wear it, I'm gonna wear it all. Okay, so I just put this in here. Watch this magic. It's just insane. Dry cloth. I should have my mirror. Sorry, just had to get my mirror really quick.
Did you come out to me before or after?
Come out to you, Andrea? Did I come out to Andrea before or after we were married? We've been married for 26 years. There was no coming out because there's no thing. There's no, transgender, terminology. But I did tell her from the beginning that that I liked feminine things and I valued feminine things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it just comes right off. But I can't see where it's so dark in here. I can't see where I put the cream. Look, I put it on my nose. I'm gonna have a shiny nose. Okay, so watch this. This is just incredible. So the brows, I have a lot of brow powder on. I did not do the brow mascara tonight like I usually do. I feel like I spread this too thin.
Let me put a little on your face and then go from there.
Yeah. I just want to use the cleanest part of the towel, the most cream on my eyes because it's got the most moisture in it. I didn't want to rub a dry soft cloth over my eyes, that's all. I feel like I should have squeezed a little bit more out though. Look at see.
I need that. You are beautiful, whether you're Kevin or Alyssa.
I'm about to put on some boy clothes, but I'll show you the binder and what that does and why it's important and necessary. Because once you understand that, you'll see what a pain in the neck it is. And even trans girls and trans men often will utilize a binder. So it's kind of like a bra. It's kind of like a bra, but very, very, very tight. Man, this.
Hi, Dina. This is a great question. How are you going to meet God? The man?
How am I going to meet God? That's a really interesting question because when I told my daughter, my oldest daughter, about me, she only had one question, and she said, "What do you think you're going to look like in heaven?" And I went, "Oh my gosh, Sam, I haven't considered that. I guess I'm going to look like your dad. I guess I'm just going to look just like this. I just won't have the same incongruences that I have right now." And she looked at me kind of like scowl, like, "All right." And after a couple of days, I called her and I said, "Sam, you asked me one question. You didn't like my answer." I said, "What do you think I'm going to look like in heaven?" She said, "Dad, I think that you're going to look like your best self in heaven, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. I think that's what you're going to look like in heaven." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, wait a minute." It's like the first time it dawned on me, maybe I could look like Alyssa in heaven. Who knows? Okay, hold on. I'm going to take this wig off. The wig stand is right there, love. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, hang on one second. Just get this. I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna. Hey, wait. Yeah, I'm gonna put on a t-shirt. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. You see why a binder is just so important. I'll put on a t-shirt without the binder, and I'll put on a t-shirt with the binder, and you can see the difference of what that looks like. So, but I've got to first take this off and take off the bra. So hang on. Maybe you can sit there for once. Answer some questions.
Okay, there's a few questions that I can answer. What made you pick the name Allyssa? As she transitioned throughout our 26 years, next week, a marriage, I would look at her and not be able to say or ask for Kevin because she didn't look like Kevin. I knew she was still my spouse, and so I've always loved that name. I didn't spell it. I didn't know how to spell it, so it took me a minute to get the right spelling, and Allyssa decided, hey, I really like the way with the 2 L's and the 2 S's, how it's, she writes it really pretty, and so that's how her name came about. Can you still hear me? Sorry, everyone says that. Anyway, I just love all your comments. It's so nice to watch Allyssa from the side, seeing her passion and her drive and her love for everyone. And at the same time, I get to see all the beautiful comments to Allyssa as she's speaking, and it just makes my heart happy. And I wish I could call them all out as she's speaking, but I don't want to interrupt her. So, but she does see them after because I do a lot of screenshotting so I can show her how amazing her followers are and the love that she gets all the time. So thank you so much. Oh, it's beautiful how much you love and support. Well, thank you. It's been a fun journey. It's been difficult. Obviously, it's as any marriage can be. But we've worked hard, and ups and downs and all the things. Just like any married couple, we have our fights, and they're not about Allyssa. They're not about her being transgender. It's just about the everyday other things that we fight about, or not even fight because anyway, but it's not as easy as you guys make it look. And a lot of times I can feel where you're coming from that way, because in the beginning, I didn't know she was transgender because there really wasn't a word, but I did know that there was something about Kevin that was more feminine, not in a way that anyone else really noticed, but I noticed because of being in past relationships, and I noticed how gentle and kind and her family was so amazing to me, and watching her with her family, him at the time with his family, I just knew something was different. And as time went on, it was okay, hey, why don't we try this? Or can I try this? Or will you help me with this? Or can I help you with that? And that's how things have progressed, and here we are. Now you guys get to see my best of both worlds.
Okay, so you can see.
Do I feel as comfortable with her as Kevin? Yes, I do.
So that is 7 years of hormones. So what I do is I wear this, it's like a tank top, but it's super, super, super tight. And so I have to wear an undershirt under a binder, then a binder, and then a t-shirt, and then a dress shirt, and then a tie, then a suit coat. So I literally would be in like five or 6 different layers. It's incredible. Okay, so now I'm going to put this.
Is that hard to breathe?
Yes, very hard to breathe.
A lot of
So
people
now
ask that.
I'm gonna put the binder on underneath the t-shirt, and then you'll see, why it's necessary for sure.
You're truly beautiful both ways. It's so true. And they're both so good to me. They're both respectful to me with, different times in my moods. Sometimes my moods change because I'll be like, okay, babe, Kevin, we need some Allyssa time. Or, hey, babe, let's go out as Kevin. Let's go out as Allyssa. How about we do this? What do you prefer? So I do get the best of both worlds, and it's kind of hard to explain and hard for people to understand because as a cisgender woman, I wasn't attracted to women. That wasn't who I was. I was attracted to men. But as time has progressed, I still see her as my spouse, regardless of what she looks like or what she's wearing. And I feel that my love for both of them have gotten stronger and deeper because of how they have respected me this way.
Thank you, baby.
Thank
you. It was nice. Thank you for those roses. See, so with the binder on, then I just have more of a, just a more of a normal shape. So the binder is a huge deal if I'm going out in public, and it's so tight. It's thank you for those roses. It's so difficult to wear for a long period of time, especially when it gets 100+ degrees. Wow, thank you for those roses.
Did you show them your whole washcloth after you got it done?
Oh no. So that's Kevin. So what are your thoughts? Now, what's interesting is when I started the live as Kevin one time, and how long was I Kevin? About an hour?
Mm-hmm.
So during an hour, we had these conversations, and people were just, respectful and asking questions and this and that. And then as soon as I turned into Allyssa, then the comments and the questions just started getting so mean and so rude and condescending. So it's really interesting the tone that changes. Right now maybe I'm a threat, but if I'm not a threat, I become a target, and it happens like that. Just like that. This is another reason why the bathrooms are so dangerous.
You, Amanda.
It's really easy to sit here, and look me in the eye, but for some reason, if I'm in a dress, I become a target, and it's weird, but that is how people are reacting.
Oh, here's a good question. Do you wear the binder when you're at home as Kevin, or just when you go out and about?
Just when I go out and about, usually. I do want to give Andrea some Kevin time. I do want to give her moments where she doesn't have to see Allyssa if she doesn't want to. So I want to give her some Kevin moments. So I do wear it if I'm creating those dates or those moments. But usually I do not wear binder at home. No.
Which
thank you, G Moore.
I usually approach Kevin when he's Kevin, and I call her Allyssa when she's Allyssa. So just whatever. But a lot of times it's like, babe, love, honey, yo, come here. Because in the beginning, when she didn't have her name, that was kind of how I, called for her. So.
I love that. I think I just see you, not one or the other. I love that.
So
yeah, thank you.
So
that's great. My child is trans. It's not a choice. Keep being you. Thank you for saying that.
That's so great.
I see Ryan. Thank you. It's not a choice. It's okay, but I'm okay with the other argument too. It's a choice. Okay, it's my choice. I choose it. End of discussion. If it's a choice, I have the right to be wrong.
You're as handsome as you are pretty.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Does your wife talk to you differently from Kevin to Allyssa? Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And Allyssa talks to me differently.
Thank you,
as
Elvira.
Well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Oh, you know what? We do communicate differently when I'm Allyssa. Mm-hmm. Relationship's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She drives differently. She eats differently.
We don't even argue.
Differently. No.
We don't have there's almost no conflict when I'm Allyssa.
No. I've only had to talk to her one time in a firm voice. And only one time. And she was, she made me want to talk to her all the time when I needed to speak firmly because she was just like so, just, oh, I'm so sorry. That's so, oh. And I was like, okay, it's okay, it's okay. Like it was just, anyway, weird
That's
thing
so
to
good.
think. I don't know.
Yeah, she says I want to meet y'all so bad. Terry was what? Yeah, let's do. Why wouldn't we? We need to do a little get together. We were going to do it next week when we got married. See, I'm speaking in that higher voice. So now that I'm Kevin, if I were standing in front of a room, I'd be going up. I'd be saying, "Get it done." Enough with the excuses. Um,
Is Alyssa and Andrea more like best friends, and Kevin and Andrea husband and wife? It depends on how you
well,
define best friends.
yeah, but I think there's
But
definitely
it
that
is
element
100%.
because if I'm Alyssa and we're chasing purses, oh look at those shoes, look at this
Babe,
bro,
hurry,
let's
come
get yeah,
here.
we love that. We love to shop together. And it's funny every time we go shopping, like I'll pick out more for her than I get for me. She'll pick
It's
out more for
so
me than
true.
yeah. It's really
So
so
true.
it's a fun dynamic that way.
Yeah. Yes.
You ever rent out Kevin to Alyssa? That's happened. Wow, we're gonna
Calling me out.
Sylvan. I don't even care if you're a man or a woman. You are so kind. Thank you for saying that,
Thank
Lily, and thank you for
you.
being here. I'm so glad that you said that because
Thank you.
my social gender is not who I am. It's I mean it is a lot of who I am, but yeah, thank you for saying that. That's beautiful.
Denise Foster,
It's
Louisiana
not
said
fair.
it.
You're a beautiful man. Say that again.
That's what you're gonna read the same comment.
It's not
that
fair.
I
You're a
was.
beautiful man and a beautiful woman. That's really nice. Thank
Amy,
you.
I love you, Amy. Kevin probably deserved it.
Deserved a tongue lashing.
She's just got
Yeah,
my back.
I deserve it a lot. No, I deserve
No,
more than I
it's
get
not
for
even.
sure.
It's not even like
No,
that. It's just,
I said that wrong.
you know.
Ah, Bree, thank you.
You're
Oh,
so
I love that. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
perfect.
Well, let's. Should we go to Vegas? Any final questions? Or it's really hard for me to bring the tone back down. It's going to take like an hour probably for me to, really
Do
get
you
back
go to
into it.
work as Kevin or Alyssa?
I worked my professional life as Kevin. I never worked in my professional career as Alyssa. This is
You are
new.
happy. I
This
forgot.
is new in the last 4 months. So
Yeah,
yeah. So no, I have not worked professionally as Alyssa, but I'm going to.
that's right. Thank you,
Nanny,
Cheryl,
thank
for
you.
being
Cheryl, thank you.
here.
Guys, thank you.
The
Moderators,
Buffalo, New
thank you.
York. Hi, Michael. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's amazing. Did those people never add? They just said those weird, rude things. I
No,
never.
they kept going, and
They didn't have any answers though. Like,
mm-mm.
okay. Yeah, when I'm presenting this way, thank you for that. When I'm presenting as Kevin, then I go by he.
Thank
I go by
you.
he. And when I'm Alyssa, I just go by she and her.
Thank you,
But
Elvira.
because I go back and forth like this, it really is hard to get worked up one way or
Do
the
your
other.
coworkers know about you? And where do you get your binders?
You know what? I got my binders just on Amazon, but I've had them for so long. I mean, I've been wearing binders for 6 years. I just got them probably from China because I remember them taking a long time to get here. And the 6 years ago, there wasn't as much
I'll
of a
show you
selection.
where
But
it
I understand
fits.
now that they even sell binders in Target.
Yes,
So that's incredible.
that's
So
such a
that
cool
was
thing
not a
for
thing
the
6 years
kids,
ago.
like
I
from up to 14, I think.
Yeah, I was making my own binders. I was getting these little compression shirts and cutting up, and they're cutting. Oh my gosh, the number of clothes I have ruined to create my own binders. I'll tell you what.
Will we
So it's really
celebrate as Kevin or Alyssa?
yes,
That's
yes.
good, but we do
I see
have
that
kind of
happening.
an anniversary date for Alyssa a while back. It was around Valentine's Day or on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So
We're from Utah. Are you happier as Alyssa? Um. Yes. I mean, is the value in Kevin? Yes. And is that important to me? Yes. But am I the happiest as do I feel the most congruent as Alyssa? Yes. The answer is yes. So the peace that I get from the congruency, I think that's the happiness that radiates. I
Thank
think
you,
is that
Kayla.
peace.
Just
Kayla, thank
glad
you.
to be past using bandages for binders for sure.
Right? Yeah, I tried that too. My gosh,
Mm,
that's no fun. That's no fun.
yes.
How many
Well, thank
years
you,
have you
everyone.
been work? 20 years I've been in middle management, full
Yes,
suit
I
and
do,
tie every single
Shelby.
day.
Thank you.
Well, let's go to Vegas, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. We
Appreciate
will
it so
drive safe.
much. Have
Thanks
an
for your
amazing
sweet
rest of the week
words.
and a great weekend. So Monday we'll be back at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wednesday is our anniversary, but we still will do this live. So we're gonna do the live probably from here, and then we'll drive to Vegas afterwards.
What's a binder?
A binder, a binder is
Kind of like a sports bra.
yeah, it's like a sports bra that compresses the chest. So it takes your chest and just
Thank
compresses,
you.
really compresses it all the way through.
Buckenheimer.
I mean, there are times I had to go in the restroom and undo it because I was literally couldn't breathe.
I've had to help undo it because
Yeah, I'm like,
she
babe,
wouldn't be able to
babe,
breathe while
take it
we're
off,
driving.
take it off, take it off, take it off.
It's just like every woman. When we get home, we just want to take our bra off.
That's good.
Thanks,
Guys, thank you so
guys.
much. You guys have an
Thank you,
amazing
thank
weekend.
You guys are awesome.
Let's go make the world